Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are into September of 1985, and this is a rough time as Mike Von Erich has experienced toxic shock syndrome in the previous few weeks, coming out of that slowly, but does experience brain damage because of it, 107-degree fever. There is a press conference. I'm addressing it here simply because I don't want to interrupt the flow of the entertainment portion of the program. There is a press conference with the doctor. They update his condition. His mother and Kevin and Carrie and Fritz all speak. And Fritz speaks what I consider now, looking back with hindsight, and the tragedy of this family, with what I consider to be pressure for his son to return to the ring. It seems insensitive at the time that he's talking about. He will recover. He will be a champion again. Less than a month after, nearly dying. I mean, or weeks after nearly dying. Seems very uncomfortable. It speaks to how entrenched they were in the business. Life being what it was then for them. Obviously, it's a family business and certainly a big thing. I mean, Fritz had been around by that point, running his own company for 20 years, but at some point, life is, a little different here. Anyway, we open the program with a rare women's match that we haven't seen in a while. Misty Blue against Linda Dallas. There are jokes around the idea of these two ladies. Certainly some adult nature to their relationship. Some have speculated over the years. Needless to say, they do, go through the wrestling deal here. Misty Blue, at the time in the 80s, was probably one of the highlighted ladies in the NWA. Big deal, and she is the ladies champion at the time. Not, I mean, for the standards of women wrestling at the time, they do a passable job. Certainly not anything compared to what was going on in Japan, not anything compared to what goes on today, but basic leg holds and step over toe holds and the like. Nothing major, but they're trying hard. Big atomic drop and a head scissors or headlock takeover by Dallas. Misty Sims the baby face, Dallas the heel. Head scissors, a big deal. Really awkward roll through into the corner. Attempted catapult type maneuver, and then they get tangled up in the ropes, and a monkey flip there. Drop kick by Sims. Sims obviously the one they want to highlight and push, but they don't get everything they want out of that arrangement, for lack of a better term. Dallas goes and tries to handle things the best way she knows how. She's fighting along, stalking around the ring, and Misty Blue does get your victory. She gets that after a she takes the majority of the beating in the match. Lack of psychology here as they go all the way back to a hammerlock near the end of the match. Drop toe holds and the like at this point near the end of the contest, just a little bizarre. But a front suplex, which Misty almost loses her on, is also worth noting. Not the best women's match ever by far. Roll through into a pinning combination attempted, and she kicks out of that. But needless to say, these women are clunky. If you like wrestling that isn't very good, if you like laughing at what you're seeing, there is an attempted crossbody which almost looks like a knee to the chest, and that is how Misty Blue Sims wins the championship match and all of that. Iceman Parsons addresses the one-man gang and Mark Lewin in the in the gym. He's hitting a heavy bag, saying he's going to fight. He's going for revenge. That's all that matters. We move to a Parsons match. Jack Victory, the opponent of the day, and Victory has been really pretty successful up to this point in time. That doesn't change here. We kind of move through, and Victory bails out pretty early. He's not that impressed with things. Iceman King Parsons owns control of the ring. Parsons, a guy who really stays with the promotion for several years. I don't know if they ever do a heel turn. I'm watching this along with you, but for the first time. But he's been here almost 4 years, just about, maybe 3.5, and been a babyface the whole time. Imagine 3.5 years these days without a turn. Anyway, into the arm bars, arm breakers, and the like. Victory, who is still a master at selling and far beyond his years of experience here, cranks him down and gets back going, and then we kind of see the headbutt and series of headbutts and punches by Parsons. Parsons, not willing to give up, hits the butt for the victory. And then we go to the press conference I mentioned before. We close the show with the dynamic duo, obviously, of Adams and Hernandez against Kerry Von Erich and Brian Adias. They were indeed friends during grade school, and they went to school together, played sports together, and the like. So that part of the storyline is legitimate. Brian is tagged in, tagged off. Kerry, obviously, owning the beginning of the match. Brian comes in and pairs off with Gino Hernandez. Remember, he did defeat Hernandez a few months ago for I believe at the time, what was the Texas Championship. Good cutoff of the ring by the baby faces early, and they do a good bit of damage. Reverse chinlock, almost a chokehold by Adams. Cut off again by Hernandez. Hernandez not willing to back down and goes to work on the leg and knee of Kerry Von Erich for the mid portion of the match. Breaks down the leg and knee. Also causes Kerry to carry his weight with a reverse chinlock. Match is slower than average for these guys, but I think that might have had something to do with Adias not being able to maybe go at the full pacing of the others. I don't really know what the difference is, but there's a clothesline in the corner of Adias when he's tagged back in by the dynamic duo. The dynamic duo certainly are guys who are not willing to take backward steps. Attempted sunset flip. Dynamic duo working together as a team. I almost wonder how they would have done in another territory, maybe like an NWA territory, meaning like Crockett, something like that, drop kick, because to this point, up until sometime in 86, World Class is part of the NWA. That split off doesn't happen until 86, and yes, it does happen, believe it or not. And then the sale of the World Class happens in 88, which is why we end in the end of October of 88, because there's a sale. Anyway, tag back in to Kerry Von Erich, and he hits the discus punch, then locks the claw onto the head of Gino Hernandez. Blindside by Adams, and the heels run away. The referee tries to get them to return, but needless to say, they don't seem willing to do so. They walk away, and Kerry and Brian do gain the victory as we close. And the close of the program is the close of the first week of September here in World Class. Till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.